So I have two guests, Lianne and Liza, who are from Philippines. There is a huge group in this conference from Philippines, and they're involved in the safeguarding projects, and one is very interesting. I hope we will get there. Please introduce yourself. What are you doing? What are your expertise, and how did you get to the safeguarding?
Okay. Okay, so I guess I'll go first.
Yeah.
So I'm Lianne from the Philippines, as Marek mentioned, and this particular project we're sharing with you about today is called the Catholic Independent Safeguarding Team, Cebu, to signify where we're from. It's a fruit of the International Eucharistic Congress in Cebu held in January 2016. Our only project at the time was to introduce children to Eucharistic adoration. We didn't know what child protection was. And one of our members was a former seminarian in the US in Rome, so he knew all these things about child protection. So he asked us if we had such a program, and at the time we were like, what's that? But it led through this whole journey, and here we are today. I'm also in the field of music, but today it's about that.
Thank you.
I am Liza, Marek. I am prosecutor in the Philippines. So as a prosecutor, I used to be in the task force of human trafficking. So I was prosecuting cases on child exploitation, online child exploitation and human trafficking. So I am very much an advocate on children's rights. So since I was assigned in a family court, that was my expertise, handling cases involving violation of the child abuse law. Yeah, and me and Lianne get into this child protection mission because both of us have the same desire to help the church. We love the church, and so we are here to really help the church because we see that there is something that has to be fixed, and maybe we can contribute to something for this, for especially in the child protection aspect.
So how is the situation now in Philippines? Not in general, because you can mention also the situation in general. How is the situation with the abuse of the minors in Philippines? But generally in Philippines, because in Czech, people, they don't know that much. Most of the people, they know that it's Philippine, but
maybe she can answer from the Department of Justice perspective.
Yes, as someone who works with the Department of Justice, we have already laws to strengthen violations, to strengthen further the laws in order that it will be a deterrent on the commission of, especially on online child sexual exploitation. You know that the Philippines is also a hotspot, human trafficking and child online sexual exploitation of children. So we have already amended so many laws to adapt to the new realities because it's really growing and increasing, especially during the pandemic time. So yes, we're seeing perpetrators from other countries, first world country, and perpetrator pedophiles, and they abuse these children at a distance through online.
And how is the situation in church? Like how is the church addressing this problem? I mean, like abuse by priests and religious.
I think Pope Francis set the deadline for June 2020 for each diocese in the world to have a safeguarding office. So I think ours met the deadline or a year off because of the pandemic. So they're trying to establish one, and their intention is to support the victim and the perpetrator. And why do we exist? Would they exist? That's a common question we get from them. So the answer would be, Lisa was the first one to give this analogy years ago. She said, for example, if a person has cancer, you don't operate on yourself. You need outside intervention, which is objective and skilled. So I'd like to use that analogy also in this case. For certain illnesses or problems, outside intervention can be the most objective and perhaps effective approach.
So for that reason, you are not believe that the church can operate
on itself.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the hierarchical church and there's us, the mystical body. So we're talking about the hierarchical church here.
Okay. And is it easy to do it in Philippines, or there is a
It's only natural that there's resistance, but we really feel that there's a degree of guidance and provision.
Yeah.
Because we've been meeting groups and individuals who can support us. They're helping to carry our mission. They're strengthening us and working together with us. So what we've been doing these past 7 years is to get people on board, whether they're individuals or groups, and to keep the conversation going. So finally, in a few weeks, we'll be registering as a non-profit organization. And we're still discerning about the degree of our communication about our group, but we're clarifying our programs and processes. So the real work begins in a few weeks.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of preparation these past weeks, months, years.
It's still in the infantile stage, so we are still experimenting how the archdiocese will receive us, because we are actually an independent team, multidisciplinary also, because we are comprised of different disciplines like law, lawyer, medicine,
psychology,
there's a doctor, there's a psychologist, and there's also a police. Is there?
Okay. And what is I can imagine there are another NGOs working in this field. So what is going to be special about you? Isn't that another one?
It's a specific focus on victims of the church, whether it's a priest or religious or lay person. That's our specific focus.
And what is the special what you are going to bring? Because I haven't heard there is no priest, there is no nun, or
we do have them, but some prefer to be anonymous.
Okay, that's I can understand.
Actually, we have two.
Even yes.
Yeah, sure. Okay, you don't know. So, from your point of view, what is that? What is special? Why do those people they should choose you and not another NGOs?
Because we would like to be the bridge between the state and the church.
Okay.
Yes, by helping the church assist the victim where they are going to be referred to, especially if the victim will seek justice from the crime that is committed against her. As I said the other day, that when there is sexual abuse, it's very clear that's a crime.
Yeah, but I can mention that another NGOs are going also to, helping people to get it. So what is special, like why the people from church should go to your organization, or maybe why the church should cooperate with you?
That's right.
Is it something special?
I would say that the core group for this team are made up of devout Catholics. Well, let's say 80% devout Catholics. And so we've been formed by the church, and we have a commitment to the church, but not in the sense of cover up and doing things the old way, but to bring life to it, and to even, I think, at the heart of it, it's to guard the faith. Because what stems from this crisis is a loss of faith, and that's the worst thing that could happen to anyone. So if they care about guarding the faith, and that they know that we're here not to destroy the church, we're not here to witch hunt, which, that's the usual fear. But we're here out of love for the church and to guard the faith.
And also, for me as a prosecutor, that there will be also justice for the victims, and really to assist in the process the victims of sexual abuse allegedly committed by a particular clergy. So it's just an allegation until the process is over, until there is judgment. But we are there to accompany or journey with the victim, especially for me in the legal process. There has to be, as I have said, in a best practice that we did in the government, and so far as child exploitation online and human trafficking is concerned, we really saw that when we send a perpetrator in jail, that is a deterrence to the commission of the crime. We are not here only for the prevention, we also want prosecution, so that this kind of crimes will stop. Otherwise, if we will only be talking about prevention, we will be showing mercy and forgiveness to the perpetrator. That's not enough. It's not sending a signal, it's sending not the right signal to the perpetrator. They would probably say, well, we can get away with it, we better become priests, because it's just so easy.
No accountability.
No accountability.
And is it in a Filipino culture that the priests, in civil society, are protected even by the civil? I don't know how is the influence
really,
of the church in this.
Yeah.
By the faithful.
It's really very true, but because this is really a journey and so many challenges along the way.
Yeah.
I just talking to one case that we had.
Yeah.
In my place, there was a child was sexually violated twice by the same priest.
Yeah.
And then the commission on safeguarding really referred this victim to the authorities, and there was a process. The prosecutor filed the case but it was dismissed.
Okay.
And also because the priest has a strong influence in the community, so they rather side with the victim, with the perpetrator than the victim. So that's really the problem also. So we continue, I think, to make noise, to raise awareness, now that there are many, about safeguarding. Only this, that when they are educated, or they will learn, or they will know that Pope Francis does not tolerate this kind of abuses in the church. Maybe this, lawyers, judges who are devout Catholics would also be awakened to that we have to protect children, not these priests.
Okay. So thank you very much, and good luck in your work.
Thank you also, Marek.
Thank you, Marek.